This is everything that's wrong with dog culture, right here. Note how he reads out a post containing a very legitimate grievance, and not only is incapable of expressing sympathy for the poster, but reads it in a mocking tone. As if reading something in a sarcastic, goofy, incredulous, or dismissive tone of voice is a refutation or a reason to dismiss valid complaints.
So this sad, no-life, dog-hating, sorry excuse of a clown says, I'm incapable of showing any sympathy to the poster, despite the poster admitting he killed his neighbor's dog. So what do you think why I can't sympathize with the poster?
Where is the animal cruelty? Why don't you seem to care at all that people are literally tortured by dog barking? And by the way, here is something I've heard you say 1,000 times before, and which you can no longer say anymore.
Where is the animal cruelty is what he says because in his own little mind, killing people's pets because they're being loud is justifiable. Now imagine this, a baby is crying very loudly, is it justifiable to punch it? Someone's pet bird is being too loud, is it justifiable to poison it? If you said yes to any of those things, then you are an absolute menace to society. And no, this is not a comparison at all. This is a showcase of how terrible your argument really is if you apply it to anything else.
Unless it's incessant barking, it's mostly just ranges from people getting mildly annoyed to not giving a shit at all.
If you think people are only mildly annoyed, or that the horrendous sound of dog barking is something people are indifferent about, then you're basically under the delusion that barking has no negative effect on the human psyche.
Ninja, please, I said mostly. That means I acknowledge that some people can be negatively affected by barking. Heck, I even acknowledged how harmful incessant barking is. And yet, you're saying that I'm under a delusion while you're deluding yourself to a point where you don't know what I'm actually saying?
Here is a website that will disabuse you of this notion. It explains how health deteriorates as emotional distress is fostered and functioning is impaired as a result of exposure to barking. It helps with understanding of systemic noise trauma and the relationship between noise and the autonomic nervous system. It goes over the symptoms and side effects of force-feeding noise into the domestic environment. It explains how health and well-being are imperiled by chronic noise. You should know that heart attack risk is significantly increased as a result of prolonged exposure to chronic noise, such as dog barking.
Mate, I know that dog barks can be negative for some people. I literally said mostly and unless it's incessant. But no, you pretend I didn't say those things, so you can put yourself on a high pedestal. Also, he reads all of this as if this affects everyone, which is not true, when the website says some people are traumatized by noise while others are not. And I find it interesting that you didn't read that part. And note, I'm not trying to disregard anyone who is traumatized, I just wanted to point that out.
It mentions how sleep is disrupted, possibly leading to severe physical as well as emotional impairment. When sleep is disturbed, risk of stroke and heart attack is increased significantly. As stress develops, health in general is imperiled. Violence and rancor are frequently generated. In other words, dog barking literally makes people more violent than they would otherwise be.
And yeah, I get that noise and lack of sleep can make people angrier. But would that excuse poisoning a bunch of cats because they're being too loud? No, it wouldn't. And we all know you wouldn't defend that act because of your biases. And once again, this is not comparison, this is a showcase of how terrible your argument is if you apply it to anything else.
Dog barking can also lead to hearing loss in a number of different scenarios. Please carefully review the website, barkingdogs.net, for your own edification. This goes to every dog nutter who wants to at least pretend to be interested in the actual truth. I know there are maybe only 2 or 3 of you out there like that.
Yeah, I did review the site. And judging by the dates, this site is pretty dang old. Not to discredit or anything, just saying. And also, considering I screenshotted a part of it. Also, I find it interesting that you say, for those who are pretending to be interested in the truth. You blatantly ignore the part where it says only some people are affected, while others are not. So, I don't think you have the right to say that.
They have to confront the reality that they're exposing people to obnoxious critic. Blah, blah, blah. We get it. Barking can be annoying. But unless it's incessant barking, that mostly just ranges from people mildly getting annoyed to not giving a shit at all.
You need the That's it?
Wow, a clip telling me to shut the fuck up. How very non-creatively bankrupt. Oh, what's that? Want me to shut up because I'm pointing out all the holes in your idiotic logic? Well, too bad. Anyway, good night.